Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Wednesday, December 18th. Got a fresh new mock draft from The Athletic to take a look at here today. Obviously focusing on what the Jaguars are doing here with this one. The Jags currently are in the 4 spot with the NFL draft in 2025. We have talked a lot about what the Jaguars can do. What about how the rest of the season will play out and how the draft order will shake out. I expect the Jaguars to finish lower than 4, which means, not 1, 2, 3, 4. I expect the Jaguars to finish in the 5 to 8 range, depending on how things play out. I think they're probably going to beat the Raiders and probably beat one of the Colts or Titans to end the season. They do well against those two franchises in recent years. So again, I don't expect the Jaguars to pick at 4 where they're currently slated. But that is where they're currently slated, and that's what we have to work off of right now based on their record and strengths of schedules with teams that are all tied at 3 and 11 right now. At 1 and 2, the Raiders and the Giants are both 2 and 12, so they're up there all by themselves, and they both need quarterbacks, and that's where they go in this Athletic mock draft from Nick Baumgardner, who does a great job for the Athletic covering the NFL draft and college football. But we're going to look at the Jaguars pick. We're also going to look at what the Titans, Colts, and Texans do, just to kind of give you an idea of where they could potentially go in the draft as well, the Jaguars division rivals. Really appreciate y'all tuning in today. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear like the hat I am wearing right now. Just dropped these this week. So, as I mentioned, quarterbacks at the top, then the Patriots. Nick Baumgardner has the Patriots taking Will Campbell, which is really interesting. Personally, we've talked about Will Campbell. I love Will Campbell's game. I think he's an interior player, whether that's a guard or a center. I really strongly believe that at the NFL level. And it's not just that he doesn't have great length. It's the fact that his lateral redirect against these big-time edge rushers, speed rushers, who also present length, it's just not quite there. And when you combine the lateral redirect issues with the length issues, you get a real compounding issue against some of these star rushers. So that's why I project him inside, where that's negated a bit. He's powerful. He's thickly built. He has a strong anchor. I think pretty much all of his issues get mitigated inside, and he becomes a Pro Bowl caliber player early on. But because you have to project him inside, because there's not tape of him playing inside, that's why I don't have him as a blue chip prospect, and I would not take him with the 3rd overall pick or the 4th overall pick, right? But that does leave the number 1 overall player on my board and most draft analysts' board available for the Jaguars at 4 overall. And here's what Nick Baumgardner has to say about the Jacksonville Jaguars picking Travis Hunter with the 4th overall pick, cornerback/wide receiver out of Colorado. He writes, Hunter played high school ball in Georgia, but he was born in West Palm Beach, a 4-hour straight shot from Jacksonville down I-95. This feels almost too perfect for the Jaguars, who could use Hunter on either side of the ball. And though Trevor Lawrence needs protection the same way May does, he also needs weapons. Hunter, the best player in the draft, will be outstanding value at number 4 for whoever the coach is in Jacksonville next season. Only the Raiders have more draft capital than the Jaguars, so this franchise will have a real opportunity to improve come spring. Yeah. And I love his point about Trevor Lawrence. Yes, he needs protection, but you have at least 3 of your starting offensive linemen locked in for next year, all 3 of which are pretty good in pass protection, and 2 of which have shown that they're pretty darn good in the run game. Anton Harrison's been a little up and down in the run game, but Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland playing next to each other on the left side of the line, they're good in both facets. They're showing that they can play at a high level in both areas of the offense, running the football and passing it. So that's encouraging. Mitch Morse, probably going to be under contract still next year. I don't see the Jaguars moving on. Maybe they try to find a younger center in the draft to replace him. But I imagine Mitch Morse will probably enter the year as the Jaguars starting center. So you're looking at, realistically, for 2025, probably only replacing one starter on the offensive line in Brandon Sheriff in all likelihood, who's up there in age. He's a battler, he's a warrior, but just doesn't have the power that he once did to move people in the run game. Still a pretty good pass protector overall. I think that the Jaguars probably go in a different direction there, get cheaper. Brandon Sheriff is a very expensive player, and he's already hitting the cap for a lot with the void money. So, yes, the Jaguars need some protection. They need a future center. They need a right guard in all likelihood for 2025. But just imagine, like, good offenses get the ball out quick. They run the ball, they get the ball out quick. Yes, you have play action shots that take a little bit longer. Yes, you're going to have moments where Trevor Lawrence extends a play, et cetera, all that stuff. But overall, you want to get the ball out fairly quickly. And that doesn't mean you can't have a vertical passing attack. You can get vertical, get the ball out quickly, throwing with anticipation on vertical shots. Those plays don't have to take a super long time to develop, right? So, and again, a lot of the vertical shots will come on play action as well. And Trevor Lawrence is a great vertical strike quarterback. He's been the most effective deep passing quarterback in the NFL the last 2 years. I'm just imagining, and personally, like what Nick Baumgartner says, Trevor Lawrence needs protection the same way May does, but he also needs weapons. I love Travis Hunter as a receiver. I think that his biggest issue physically is just strength. Like, he's 185 pounds. He's not the strongest guy in the world. As a corner, I think strength is more important than it is as a receiver. And we're not talking about being an adequate corner who can cover wide receiver twos. We're talking about if you're taking a player at 4 overall at the cornerback position, they have to be able to go man-to-man with the best wide receivers in the league. And I have some questions about Travis Hunter being able to do that against the big physical receivers, right? DK, Jamar, all these types of AJ Brown, those types of guys. And then I also have issues with, potentially just the best receivers, guys that maybe aren't the strongest, but that are bigger and just as fast as him. Now, I think if you're going to be playing primarily zone coverage, Travis Hunter is more attractive as a cornerback than he is as a man-to-man corner, because his zone eyes, his route anticipation, his feel for, how routes are developing, which again goes into route anticipation, all that stuff is, and his catch point skills, his ability to jump routes, all that stuff's incredible. But I think your strength issues are a little bit more mitigated on the offensive side of the ball. I think when you look at the rules of the game, when you look at the ability for receivers to be put in motion, to line up in the slot, to line up off the ball, a lot of these strength questions can go by the wayside because of the rules of the game and because of how offenses have evolved. And because Brian Thomas Jr. is the one, he can line up on the line of scrimmage for you. He's shown he can beat press. He has shown he can get the job done at an extremely high level no matter the situation he's in. So Travis Hunter coming in here as your 1B, 1A in certain situations, I think that they can kind of trade off on who's going to be the high target getter week to week, which is fantastic for Trevor Lawrence. But Travis Hunter's hands, his length, because even though he's like 6'1", not the tallest guy in the world, he has tremendous length and explosive ability. His arms are long. His hands are extremely powerful and soft, right? Like, his grip strength on the football, he's a natural, absolute natural. And that allows him not only to go up and get contested catches, which he does at an extremely high level for his size, but also in these situations where he's in space, there's no double clutching. There's no thought about catching the football. He's catching it and effortlessly and not losing focus and being able to focus his attention on making defenders miss, on creating more separation, on getting upfield. It's a special talent, and having Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. on your offense, I think, would be sensational. Now, if you want to play him at cornerback, I get it. Travis Hunter and Tyson Campbell, really good cornerback duo that would be. But I think that is a zone cornerback duo. That's how I view it. I think that Tyson Campbell's always been a little bit better in zone than man. And so you need to be a really zone heavy team. And there's just times where you want to be able to run in man coverage. And when you're going against, let's say you're going against, right? Like, say you make the Super Bowl and AJ Brown's on the other side, DK Metcalf's on the other side, or you're in the AFC playoffs and Jamar Chase is on the other side. Who is doing a good job against those guys? I don't think Tyson Campbell is. I don't think Travis Hunter is. So that's my foil. That's my issue, right? I think you take him, you play him at receiver full time. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's how I view it personally. And I would love the pick. I think those two complementary skill sets with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. would be amazing. Speed, explosiveness, catch point ability, route running chops, and like Hunter, he's a great receiver. He just is. The way he flattens his routes, there's no rounding of routes. Like at the point where he has to end cut or out cut, it's flat. It's on the money. It's precise. He just creates such great separate. I love it. Travis Hunter, Jaguars, 4 overall. I'd be, dancing in the office here, in the studio, getting ready to do a video, talk to y'all about it. I would be absolutely fired up. So I know that's a long-winded way of saying I absolutely think that's a great idea. Now, the Tennessee Titans, the Jaguars division rivals, they get Abdul Carter in this one at 6 overall. You don't love that because he is an absolute freak show. And as I think Walker Little and Anton Harrison are good, I think that he would give them problems. I absolutely think that. Getting to the Colts. Oh, this is only a top 10. We don't get the Colts. We don't get the Texans. But we got the Jaguars pick at number 4, Travis Hunter. And we got the Titans at 6, Abdul Carter. Again, if you can get Travis Hunter in this offense, whatever offense it is, based around Trevor Lawrence's skill set, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, they could be cooking with gas real quickly. Absolutely. And I also strongly believe in getting the run game going. I've talked about that a lot. I think if you went Travis Hunter at 4, you better be taking a guard pretty soon after that. And I think they should be taking a running back to be competing to start as well. At some point, probably late day 2, early day 3. And I wouldn't be against Genty, but I would not take Genty over Hunter or Mason Graham or Abdul Carter. Maybe over Abdul Carter. Just because if you take Abdul Carter, I think you're saying we're not signing Trayvon Walker, which that's a whole other can of worms. Anyways, this would be awesome for the Jaguars. Travis Hunter, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.